Computer systems were initially used at NASA, the Army force of that sort. They send and receive signals using the network signals to and from radio phones, or you call it walkie-talkie. They don't use direct language but rather codes to be decoded and decrypt what is encrypted. During the war times, the Army sends and receives information which are confidential and requires the Army's action. Later, these networks that coexist within radio and television, the NASA satellites and Army forces were upgraded. Large mainframe systems which require almost a mansion to hold data and information, network hubs to process and send and receive were all upgraded. This upgrade was released to the public for business process automation. What are some examples of business processes? For example, the simple supermarket front-end cashier who uses to punch in prices for customers' purchased items, then print a bill, receive payment and process payment, and print the receipt. Business process of this sort is point-of-sale systems. Even this was upgraded to using the devices to scan barcodes to avoid human error of punching prices. Even this payment was automated with the use of credit card and debit cards. Now it is in the self-service shopping checkout kiosk. So computer science or information technology or information and communication technology, ICT, has a variety of areas such as networks used by satellite for TV and radios, then local area network LAN and wide area network WAN, internet and Wi-Fi. Next is machines such as mainframes, which runs on operating systems, which are developed using the assembly machine languages of zeros and ones, binary codes of 1 byte comprising 8 bits. On top of operating systems, you have database systems which are also developed with some machine languages and machine readable and processable for of languages. Database systems are used to store data and information in rows of records and fields of columns. Database systems back in the days were DBase 4 in 1993. Then with Microsoft introduced Microsoft Access. Now we have open source database systems such as the Oracle database. On top of the platform of operating systems, database systems, we have application systems. Application systems are what end users or laymen use. Application systems simplifies mundane, tedious and time-wasteful efforts of manual tasks to be simplified. For example, if you want to write a letter to your supplier on a request for a new product, you will use paper and pen and maybe a carbon copy. With the introduction of typewriter, it was then typed out. But with Microsoft Word, the letter is drafted using a computer with a keyboard and printed out with a printer. The best part is, with application systems which are developed to ease many more mundane tasks. For example, a medium-sized manufacturing organization runs a supply chain business process, but all are done manually. For example, telephoning the supplier, then asking for a quotation to be faxed, or worse still, posted. The placing an order by posting a letter or telephoning or faxing with cumbersome telephone numbers of various suppliers and their various products, their cumbersome incoming and outgoing posts or faxes of quotations, then filing them in cabinets and trays, it becomes very easily prone to human error, misplacing, mistracking, mistorn, latest update. You have what you call enterprise resource planning systems, which is a system to automate the supply chain business processes. With you just clicking on supplier, doing a search on product, clicking the generate order button, then sending the order supplier, the ERP systems do these tasks in less than 3 minutes. ERP systems comprises supplier, purchase, customer sales, production manufacturing, resource planning, MRP I, MRP II, shipping, logistics, warehouse inventory, assets, human resources, payroll, recruitment, union, finance, accounts, cash flow. With these systems in place of an organization, they need EDP or electronic data processing department to maintain these ERP systems, to support, to troubleshoot, to upgrade, and to install, implement, and update, and more. From mainframe systems connected with local area network within organization to dumb terminals, which end users have access to their module of ERP systems. Then the evolution of technology introduced client-server systems. Older systems, mainframe is the server and the dumb terminal is the client. But client-server systems mean both the systems and applications sit within the computer. Later, the networking expanded to cloud computing, which the Internet, WWW, stands for World Wide Web. But it was all connected through cables, wires and hubs and routers and network servers. With the introduction of Wi-Fi, which stands for wireless fidelity, using the wireless protocol. Similarly, with the advancement of Internet, which provides cloud computing, for example, storing of files and documents in Google Drive, using free emails such as Gmail and Yahoo, then shopping too become integrated with the use of Internet. People purchase using computers and the Internet. Now mobile advancement from Army and NASA usage of sending and receiving signals among messages. Armies then the use of handphones, pages, and now smartphones with Wi-Fi. You know what smartphones do exactly with computers? They have developed mobile application systems. For example, the train and bus schedule, banks with their banking apps to be used in smartphones, and supermarkets implemented their shopping apps to be used in mobile phones. Laptops, computers, and mobile phones with a camera for both stills and moving. Social collaborations, storing contacts, searching new contacts, dating sites, searching for answers, encyclopedia converted to Wikipedia. Now even more with artificial intelligence. Computing is vast. With the introduction of automation to business processes for organization, it has also automated hospitalization, travel to moon, flights, trains and transportation, oil and gas, fishery and agriculture, hotel and hospitality, health and medical. For example, without cutting the patient's body and making a mess like in those days, the use of laser treatment, which is a sensor-enabled device, eliminates and operates on the cancer growth in the patient's body. Similarly, with the use of RFID, stands for radio frequency identification sensors, the tags of items and reads and decodes them. Initially with barcode readers, a magnetic tape reader, a CD, a DVD reader, a thumbprint reader, and an eye reader, voice recognition for banking security, these sorts. Trains move without a driver, entrance to your high-rise office using face recognition. Encountering a tsunami, we now have a sensor installed to detect any abnormalities of the sea and the land for detecting natural disasters. This and this goes on, and I'm just so excited. Let's look forward to technology development and evolution. Thank you.